You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
All right, everyone, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and today we are going to pick some fights for UFC on ABC2. Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori. This is a short notice fight for Kevin Holland, just coming off that loss against Derek Brunson because the original opponent, Darren Till, suffered a broken collarbone. So there you go. So wherever you are listening from, just make sure whether it's YouTube, Twitter. I don't think I'm on Periscope. I certainly hope I'm on HAPPS live and going, but make sure you hit the old sub button. I surely would appreciate that wherever you are, and feel free to give her a share as well. All right, let me just make sure where I am broadcasting from real quick. Oh my gosh, I am somehow on Twitter Live, so how about that? Which used to be Periscope, but yeah, UFC on ABC too. How about that? Okay. So, perfect. I don't think my live counter is working here on HAPPS, so that certainly stinks. All right. Well, let's get to it. This has become sort of a HAPPS cult classic, but we're going to get to our sponsor, excuse me, before we start picking fights. And golly, it's been several months now that MANSCAPED has stuck with this podcast. And those of you that love these ad reads, well, buckle up. There's some new stuff today. So, hey, you. Yeah, you. Got Bush? You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. After using these life-changing products, you're going to want to join a ball sack beauty contest. I'm looking out for you too because I also have an exclusive 20% off discount using promo code MMAFP at manscaped.com. Manscaped is dedicated to help you level up your full body grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. This kit comes with the Essential Lawnmower 3.0, the waterproof cordless body trimmer, and of course, lots of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. This is the best trimmer on the market to help you trim up the hedges. This trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. When you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. That's right, folks. Things don't grow in the shade, if you know what I mean. You also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant as well as the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. It's like a little spritz for the balls in the middle of the day to help you get that little tingly feeling and keep you smelling great down there. With a perfect package or performance package purchase, you get 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value. I keep all my stuff in there, no problem for Manscaped. And the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers. So you get 20% off and free international shipping with the code MMAFP at manscaped.com. That is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use promo code MMAFP. It's 2021, and you still got Bush? Change that with Manscaped. All right. Thank you, Manscaped, for those wonderful new graphics to round out this broadcast. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the counter. I know there's people watching, so feel free to make a comment and follow along. I know my man Chris is watching and a few others, so it is what it is. I'm going to get to it. The first fight of the night here. Let me see. Having a little trouble. Huh. Well, we are in big trouble because all of my previous windows, of course, just got shut down. Oh, man. So that is interesting. Well, let's talk about a little bit of news first while I'm getting this all situated. Apparently, the UFC looks like they are moving on from Jon Jones. and Francis Ngannou. We're talking about a fight with Derek Lewis now, possibly against Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight strap. That is amazing. I hope it comes to fruition rather. But I kind of wanted to see what was going to happen with Jon Jones, and is he really a legit heavyweight? We'll see. Jon Jones is rumored to be up to 255. I don't see how that's possible. It could be possible, but that is such a short time to put on that kind of weight. I would have been interested to see, like, how's he going to move? Is he going to still have that same quickness? What about the power? I mean, will his power go up? All very, very interesting questions I want to see answered, but apparently the UFC does not want to pay the price tag. Now, the UFC was also just bought out by Endeavor. So, we'll see if that makes a difference or not. And of course, Endeavor also buying out Dana White. So I'd be interested to see what's going to happen with that. Is Dana still going to be there? I would assume he would be. I thought he had a contract, but I don't know what this contract would consist of being bought by a new company in the middle of all this. So very, very interesting. Of course, we'll see what happens. I hope that the UFC does get this fight going, and we see Jon Jones where we need to at heavyweight, because if he's really put on all that weight, if he's really at 255 pounds already, which I just don't see that. I haven't seen him on a scale or anything. What would happen? What would happen against the best in the world at a totally different weight class? So there we go. Okay, for those of you that are just joining, I am going to get to some of these fights here on UFC on ABC 2. Vettori versus Holland. And you can just feel free to come on down and help me pick these fights. If you're on HAPPS, come on down and come on the broadcast for, which would be fine. I would very much enjoy that, of course. Let me see here. What else can we talk about? I think that's all really the news of the day. I know there's Bellator fights that have been going on, but, I don't have Showtime, and I don't really plan on getting Showtime anytime soon. So, it's kind of disappointing. I kind of dug them on whatchamacallit on CBS Sports. I actually had that channel. I could set my DVR, but it didn't work. It didn't work out, and all of a sudden now we're back on Showtime. This is like Strike Force. It's like the Strike Force throwbacks. So very good. All right, let's go ahead and pick some of these fights first off. I got them all pulled up. Yep. Jim Miller against Joe Solecki. Excuse me. Jim Miller, man, I did the math the other day about how long he's been around. I feel like I just picked him. I believe he fought Vince Pichel last. I could be wrong. Yeah, he did. He lost to Vince Pichel back in August of 2020. Before that, he's got a win over Roosevelt Roberts, a loss over Scotty Hot Sauce Holtman. But then, he had a couple good wins. He guillotined Clay Guida. He rear naked choked Jason Gonzalez. And after that Roberts fight, he said he felt really good. So I'm not sure what really happened, and maybe we'll hear more about it. But I got to tell you, Joe Solecki's on a bit of a tear. Hasn't lost since 2018 against Nicolas Mota. I'm not even sure if that is. But not near as much UFC experience, because if you go back to Jim Miller, I mean, oh my gosh, he has been fighting in the UFC since Bisping versus Lieben in 2008. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. And, Solecki, not so much. He's only been in the UFC since, the Contender Series in July 2019. But he does have a lot of wins, like I said. He just beat Austin Hubbard, beat Matt Wyman, did beat James Wallace in the Contender Series as well. Well. Let's see what the odds have to say. Jim Miller is quite the underdog here at plus 195, and you got Joe Solecki at minus 235 as a favorite. Very interesting, man, because, the body of work of Jim Miller, far exceeds what Joe Solecki's done, and not a betting man, but I do think I like Jim Miller here, and he is the underdog. So do what you will with that. Mike Perry against Daniel Rodriguez. You might remember Mike Perry not making weight his last fight, which is kind of crazy, losing against Tim Means in a decision bout, coming out with his girlfriend as a coach. I got to tell you, I don't think that he makes the best life decisions, Mike Perry. Excuse me, I'm just a bit parched here. Yeah. Life decisions does not seem to be Mike Perry's thing. Looking back, the first fight his girlfriend cornered him on was Mickey Gall, and he beat that. He really handled Mickey Gall in a fight. I picked him to lose. Mickey Gall was the underdog, and I guess he was the underdog for a reason. Lost against Jeff Neal, lost against Vicente Luque, who we just saw go up against Tyron Woodley. So does have a win over Cowboy Alex Oliveira. Paul Felder, but that was a short notice fight. Paul Felder coming in heavy. Coming in from lightweight to welterweight on that one. Let's take a look at Daniel Rodriguez. Just lost to Nicholas Dalby. Has a win over Dwight Grant, Gabe Green. Tim Means also. Tim Means beat Mike Perry. So when he choked him out. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm not that familiar with Daniel Rodriguez, and you got to think the UFC is either trying to build Daniel Rodriguez up by giving him a win or build Mike Perry back up. And I don't know who's coaching Perry in this fight. I guess I should have found that out as well. But let's see what the odds have to say, shall we? All right. So Mike Perry is the dog, barely, plus 150. So Daniel Rodriguez coming in at minus 150. Listen, I don't know what Perry's going to come in weighing. I don't know who's going to be coaching him. I'm going to go with D-Rod here. Daniel Rodriguez in this fight. All right, next up. Well, the return of Nina Ansaroff after having a child with Amanda Nunez. I do believe that Nina carried the child, so congratulations to them. This fight is taking place at Strawweight. Very good. So, Nina's been a little bit of a terror. She did just get stopped by Tatiana Suarez, her last fight, and that would be June of 2019. But before that, some good wins. Claudia Gadelia, Ron Marcos, Angela Hill, and then Jojo Leibarger. So interesting. And we're going to take a look here at Mackenzie Dern, also on a tear in her own right, training with Jason Perillo. It looks like her striking is really coming into fruition here. But, yeah, I make sure. Sometimes Tapology likes to mess with me a little bit. Nope, this is right. Okay, so she did just beat Virna Jandaroba, Randa Marcos, and Hannah Cypher. She did have that loss to Amanda Ribas, and Amanda Ribas is really coming into her own. I don't know who beats her at this point. I do believe she just had a fight announced. If I'm going to go here, Amanda Ribas taking on Angela Hill. Yeah, so that's crazy in May. So what a test for both girls. Angela good on the feet, Ribas good everywhere. Especially dangerous on the ground there. She's just dangerous everywhere. I should take that back. She's, but anyway, what do the odds have to say here? Because I feel like, Nina's going to be biting off little ring rust if you know what I'm saying. So let's just take a looky-see. The odds, yeah, they're pretty even. Interesting. They're both near even. I don't know what they're going to come in at. I imagine more betting will come into Mackenzie Dern. She's just a more popular name, but I picked Mackenzie to win just because of the ring rust of Nina on that deal, just having a baby and all that kind of stuff. So, Michael Grizz, hello to you too. Carrying on with the baseball broadcast, so keep that up, man. He's been on fire here over at HAPPS. Of course, you can join me here at HAPPS as well. And I always sub back. I was a little late with some of these subs, but Periscope. I don't know what Periscope's going to do. For somehow, some way, I am broadcasting on Periscope, and I'm not sure how that's happening. And yeah, very good. Oh, Shane 1975 wants to know, are the fights live? They are not live yet, but they will be on ABC Free TV this Saturday. So, yeah, pretty big deal. Be on an ABC. So those of you that are joining the broadcast, feel free to share. If you want to help me pick fights, if you know some UFC, go ahead. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern in this one against Nina. I have a few more fights to pick here. Smiling Sam Alvey, friend of the podcast. He was on here many, many moons ago. No problem, Shane. Taking on Julian Marquez. Now, Smiling Sam has not had the best of luck lately. He lost a split to Ryan Spann, lost to another decision to Klitzen Abreu. Jimmy Crute got knocked out. I think that was that. No. Antonio Nogueira was a weird knockout, I think, where he protested. And hasn't won since Jon Vellante 2018. So very interesting here. And Sam is just plugging away still, 205 pounds. Let's take a look at Julian Marquez. Just beat Maki Pitolo. Lost to Alessio Di Chirico. And that's back in 2018. So he's not been the most active of fighters here. Has wins over Darren Stewart, Phil Hawes. Okay, yeah, so definitely the least experienced out of the two. Take a look at the comments here. Is Eddie Alvarez coming back? No, Eddie is in ONE FC, so I don't actually know when he fights next. He got beat pretty badly, actually, not too long ago. Connor did not retire. He's fighting Dustin Poirier for the third time in July. So Connor will be back. Local kid Eddie is. That's right. So you're from Philly? Yeah, Eddie does quite well in Philly. He does some property management, some real estate, all kinds of stuff. We've actually gone back and forth a little bit on my Iaquinta Realty Twitter account, if you were. And he's kind of actually a fun guy. He once said I was the funniest effort on the internet, if you can believe that. How about that? So let's take a look at the odds for Sam Alvey and Julian Marquez, shall we? Now, yeah, Alvey's a slight underdog here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why the ads aren't a little further than that. He's a plus 160 underdog, and Marquez is a minus 190 slight favorite. I would tend to think that Marquez has this fight. Things have not been going Sam's way. It's not the biggest light heavyweight in the world, but he's just kind of one of those deals where he's too big to make middleweight. This is where a 195-pound weight class would come in handy. But here we are. Alas, no 195-pound weight class. So I like Julian Marquez in this fight. The co-main event of the evening. For an ABC card, it's not the most well-known names, but these are going to, trust me, guys, these are going to be some scraps. All right, taking place. I believe I got to get. Oh yeah, it's featherweight. Arnold Allen versus Sodiq Yusuff. So let's take a look at Arnold Allen here first. So he's been on quite the streak here. Nick Lentz, Gilbert Melendez, Jordan Ronaldi, and Gil. Yeah, Gil was fighting at 145 for a while there. I forgot about that. Yeah, so nothing but win. Mach 1 Americani. Wow, I mean, that was back in 2017, but Mark 1's no joke either. Let's take a look at Sodiq. Just beat Andre Feely back in January of last year. So it's been over a year since he's fought. Let's see. Gabriel Benitez beat him. Yeah, so he hasn't been very active here. So very interesting here. Let's see what the odds have to say, because Sadiq's a bad dude. He's got a few knockouts, slams and punches. Yeah, punches. Yeah, lots of knockouts here. Take a look one more time at Arnold Allen. He's got a lot of the he's got some TKOs of his own and some submissions. So this should be a really good fight. Let's see what the odds have to say, shall we? I hear people moving in my background. All right. So I would imagine, oh, wow. Yeah, so it's near even with Sodiq Yusuff being the slight favorite at minus 140. This is a really tough one for me to pick. More familiar with Arnold Allen. He's been a little more active, but, again, hasn't fought in over a year. So it's hard to say he's been a little more active. Yeah, I mean, both of them hadn't fought in over a year. I guess was it the same card? No, it was not the same card. They were about a week apart in January of last year. So you got to throw that out the window. But Allen does look like he's fought the stiffer competition, with the exception of Andre Feely. I'm going to go Arnold Allen in this one. So even though Sadiq's the slight favorite. All right, main event of the evening, Marvin Vettori, Kevin Holland. It's supposed to be Marvin Vettori, Dern Till. I was very much looking forward to that fight. Wherever you are watching these main event picks, I hope you do subscribe. I'm going to get to these picks right about now. And, of course, remember today's sponsor, MANSCAPED. And remember, MMAFP gets you 20% off. All right, getting to the main event. Let's take a look at Vettori first. Just had a nice, impressive win over Jack Hermansson. Did I forget to pick Hermansson? Is he on this card? Oh, shame on me if I did. Shame on me if I did. He's just not on here. Why did I think he was fighting? Okay. Well, I guess Jack Hermansson's not fighting this weekend, but for some reason I thought he was. So anyway, I'm so sorry. Getting back to it. Vettori just beat Jack Hermansson, Carl Robertson, Andrew Sanchez, Cesar Fiera. He does have a split decision loss against Israel Adesanya back in 2018. So, be an interesting fight. Lots of people say that Vettori won that fight. Of course, Kevin Holland, who was on a tear all of 2020, beating the likes of Jacare Souza, Charlie Ontiveros, Darren Stewart, Joaquin Buckley. And, of course, just now losing to Derek Brunson the 20th. So, I mean, less than a month, he's coming back. Now, normally I wouldn't like this at short notice and big turnaround, but he's not a big 185-pounder. He was even talking about going back down to 170 pounds. So I don't know that the short notice of it is going to be a bother. But let's just take a looky-see at the odds. Now, I can tell you what I think the odds are. I would think they would probably strongly favor Vettori, and checking into this, yeah. Woo! Vettori, a minus 325 favorite, whereas Holland's a plus 250 underdog. And I don't know if the odds are that big, but Vettori's a bit of a grappler too. We'll see what he does. I mean, the game plan is there from Brunson. Of course, Brunson couldn't finish him, but, Holland did just take, he didn't look like he took some punishment, but he did take some punishment. Holland's a taller guy too. He's 6'3", Vettori's 6 foot. But Holland's got that reach. So if he can get good fistance, keep it keep him away with punches and kicks, we'll see. And he does train with Travis Lutter. So, but, King's MMA has been on a bit of a roll too. So, very interesting. King's MMA's got some old school guys there. Jake Ellenberger, Rafael Dos Anjos, Shogun, who was there for a little bit. I think he's since retired or not. I don't know. Benny Dariush, also on a tear, who's getting ready to fight Tony Ferguson. So, yeah, interesting here. I got to go. Listen, I don't think the underdog has it in this one. I think that I like Vettori here to take it. So, there you go. All right, well, that's all I got for this week. Thank you, everyone that listened. So I think this is one of those ones that'll catch fire here as the fights get closer. Because, UFC on ABC, too. That's a big deal. ABC. So, very interesting. I will be in Florida. Naples. I won't watch the fights live. I'll be a good husband. So, there you go on that one. All right, so until next week, enjoy the fights, and I'll be back to pick some more. Shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.